After months of claiming the liberation of eastern Ukraine is the main objective of Russia's military operation, Moscow now says it will no longer limit itself to the Donbas region.
Moscow's military goals in Ukraine now go beyond the eastern Donbas region, where Russia initially claimed it wanted to defend breakaway Ukrainian provinces. The shift was articulated on Wednesday by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who said that one reason Russia might expand what it calls its special operation are the longer-range rockets and artillery the U.S. and NATO allies have been funneling to Ukraine, led by President Volodymyr Zelensky, to beat back the Russian invasion.
That means the geographical tasks of the special operation will extend still further from the current line. Because we cannot allow the part of Ukraine that will be controlled by Zelensky or whoever replaces him to contain weapons that will pose a direct threat to our territory and the territory of the republics that have declared independence, those that want to determine their own future.
Lavrov's comments are the clearest acknowledgement yet that Russia's objectives have expanded over the 5 months of war.
That's not a surprise to any of us or anybody in Europe or anybody around the globe.
U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told reporters on Wednesday Lavrov's statements confirmed what Washington and its allies had suspected were Russian President Vladimir Putin's objectives all along.
He has stated a number of times that, this is a limited operation focused on the Donbass. His actions have proven otherwise.
After failing to capture the capital Kiev at the outset of the invasion, Russia has shifted to a campaign of devastating bombardments to cement and extend its control of Ukraine's south and east. On Wednesday, local officials said a Russian missile killed a 13-year-old boy waiting at a bus stop in the eastern city of Kharkiv. The boy's father clasped his dead son's hand. A day earlier, Russian strikes hit Kramatorsk, a city Western officials believe will become one of the main focuses of Moscow's offensive in eastern Ukraine. Ukraine says Russian forces have intensified long-distance strikes on targets far from the front, killing large numbers of civilians. Moscow says it is hitting military targets. In a visit to Washington, Ukrainian First Lady Olena Zelenska appealed to U.S. lawmakers on Wednesday to provide more arms for her country.
I am asking for weapons. Weapons that would not be used to wage war on somebody else's land, but to protect one's home and the right to wake up alive in that home.
Well, our Brussels correspondent Rosie Burchard has more now.
There's no surprise really here in Brussels, where NATO is headquartered. NATO nations have always been suspicious and doubtful when it comes to what Russia says are its aims in this conflict. Now, Western nations and NATO countries have been for some weeks now focusing on upping Ukraine's army's capacities, particularly a focus there on trying to transition Ukrainian forces away from Soviet-era weaponry toward more modern-era arms. That's what Ukraine has been calling for. Kiev has been asking for more heavy weapons from Western nations. They have coughed up, they have supplied more heavy weapons, and for example, including multiple launch rocket systems. Ukraine says it still needs more, and of course, Russia is now, it says, reacting directly to that. And Moscow has in the past accused Western nations that are part of the NATO military alliance of fighting a proxy war by arming Ukraine. But those NATO members say they're doing precisely the opposite, that they are sending arms to Kiev because they will not themselves get involved in this war for fear of escalating the conflict into an even bigger war where Russia and NATO allies face each other down directly. There are no NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine and no NATO planes in Ukrainian skies.